You know that feeling when you've eaten something and not even sure why? It's usually followed by guilt. You weren't hungry. You knew you weren't hungry. And yet, there you were, in the kitchen, in the car, at your desk, eating anyway. We're conditioned into believing that this is a failure of willpower. But we're missing one very fundamental truth. If this was purely a willpower problem, surely we would have mastered it by now. Here's what's actually happening. Your nervous system is running more of the show than we would like to think it does. We have all these different mechanisms almost competing for attention. You have your mind, you have your brain, you have the responses of your body, you have the intelligence of your gut, and you have the feelings of your heart. And while all of this is going on, your brain is constantly scanning the environment for threat. This is called neuroception. And it's not just scanning for physical threats, it's also scanning for emotional threats. So if you ask somebody who, as a child, had to scan the environment to see what kind of mood people were in, for example, you could be highly attuned to that. So that could include conflict, loneliness, overwhelm, boredom, or just that feeling that things are a bit out of control. When your brain detects that something feels unsafe, it triggers a stress response. That's when your cortisol goes up, adrenaline kicks in, and your body moves into fight or flight. This is why you can feel wired and tired at the same time. So here's where food comes in. Eating, especially something sweet, salty, or high in fat, activates your parasympathetic nervous system. It's part of rest and digest. It literally sends a signal that says, calm down, you're safe, everything is going to be okay. It's the same bliss point mechanism that food companies use to keep you coming back and buying the same products off the shelves because it's making you feel good. So when your body's reaching for chocolate and you know you shouldn't be eating it, it's because your body knows it's inadvertently going to give you what it needs. It's going to regulate and soothe. The fastest, most reliable way your body knows how to bring itself back down comes from every time you choose the chocolate over conscious self-regulation. I've spoken about the gut-brain axis before, and I'm sure I'm going to repeat it again. The signals travel back and forth, and the gut directly influences how safe your brain feels. We need to acknowledge that gut inflammation and dysbiosis are adding to your stress because your brain is receiving those signals and interpreting them as threats. And a brain that feels threatened is going to look for relief. Are you seeing how this pattern works? Stress directly hits the nervous system. The nervous system signals the gut. The gut sends distress signals back to the brain. The brain looks for the fastest way to feel better, and food steps in. This is why you can do all the mindset work in the world and still find yourself eating in a way you didn't intend to. That conversation between your gut and your brain is happening beneath the level of conscious thought. You can't think your way out of it. You have to work at the level of the nervous system itself. So you're asking yourself, how? Well, first, how about we stop calling it emotional eating? Let's reframe it to nervous system eating. If you haven't already, we're going to be spending a considerable amount of time reflecting on removing shame and guilt from how you comfort yourself. Start asking yourself different questions. Instead of, why did I eat that? Ask, what was I trying to regulate before I had the food? Was I stressed, lonely, overwhelmed, bored? Was something happening in my body that felt unsafe? That question is the beginning of a completely different relationship with food. But you cannot ask that question if you're spiraling in guilt and shame. You need to give yourself compassion to ask those questions. This is not going to resolve itself overnight, and maybe it never will. Maybe you will always regulate yourself with food. However, You can absolutely do that with food that is nourishing and comforting without causing your body harm. It's what I do. It's how I'm wired. I still comfort myself with food, but it's nourishing. It's building me up and it feels good on every level. Your relationship with food as it stands now, that's not your fault. Never forget that. It's something you can change. So we're going to start giving your nervous system different options. But for now, just sit with this. Understanding it, really understanding it, is part of that change.